webcam come to this conclusion. So the webcam's here, that way, but the screen's over here. So interesting. Anyways, onwards. Ultimate Fighter Review, episode, I believe, 6. And this time around, we got another fight coming up, and we got some interesting person backstories. We got an injury, we have a coach rant, and we have a coach challenge. So let's roll. Pretty much we opened up with Kaisi Scola talking about how he feels that Tito is overtraining them a bit. I'm on the fence here, because if you've noticed, Tito works his team harder than Chuck's. Now you could say, well, that's a good thing, but Chuck's fighters aren't gassing. Tito's fighters are gassing. Chris McRae, we see later in the episode Nick Ring a little bit. We've seen some others. We haven't seen that from Chuck's fighters. I do believe that if you are unused to this kind of level of training and you're thrown into it, it takes a while for the body to adjust. And maybe some of the fighters are paying a price for that. In the long run, it is beneficial. That's how Tito's kept up such a nice cardio. That's why, fighters that train with Tito tend to also have really good cardios, because they worked like that. And it works in the long run. Just not certain it's the best for this particular environment. Let's put it that way. But let's hear some opinions on that, because I'm interested. I mean, I haven't done it, so I can't really say. Anyways, we move into the fight pick, which is Court McGee versus Nick Ring, which disappointed me because that means Joe Henley's going to fight Seth Bekaczynski, whom I do not believe neither deserves to go on, and one will by process of elimination. So I would have preferred Court to have fought Seth Bekaczynski, maybe win the rematch, or if Seth beats him, then Seth has definitely earned a spot onwards, and Joe Henley to get fed to Nick Ring, because, no offense to Joe Henley, but I believe those are the two worst fighters on each respective team. That's just my opinion. Moving on. So we got that fight. James Hammertree gets hurt. It is his back. He got dropped out of it by Chris McRae. It's not confirmed if he's out of the competition or not. But a back injury is something that would generally probably sideline someone because it's reasonably serious and hard to get sanctioned, I would think. So I assume there is some kind of medical procedure, which is why Chris Camozzi's gone, to fight. Also, we still haven't really gotten a confirmation on Rich Antonito's status now, have we? Which is interesting. Anyways, we have Dodgeball Challenge. Chuck wins 3-0. Who cares? This was honestly one of the worst challenges they've ever had. I kind of enjoyed the ping pong between Jens and BJ. I kind of enjoyed the pool game because it was a one-on-one affair, and I preferred that better other than the soccer one because it was just terrible. Both were just terrible at it. But anyways, moving on, we get a little backstory on both. Court McGee is a former drug addict and alcoholic. He has recovered and moved on with his life, which much props. It's a very nice bright story to the season. And Nick Ring, don't really learn much about him other than he's been out for 3 years with some knee surgeries. So bit of a comeback. We go to the fight. Nick is a very weird guy. I'm gonna put it that way. Very weird. But anyways, the fight, first round, striking's reasonably even. Court McGee gets a takedown. Does a little bit of ground and pound, but not much. Nick Ring probably losing the round towards the end, though, off of that takedown, just because the stand-up is, so even that the takedown, as much as I don't like to give a guy the round based on a takedown, is pretty much the difference. But then Court shoots for takedown, he gets stuffed. Nick Ring turns it into getting top position, works in ground and pound for maybe 2 minutes. That definitely gave him the first round, I think. And all three judges scored that way, which you kind of gave away that it goes to decision. But for the record, I'm assuming you guys have seen the fight. I'm just giving you kind of my thoughts on on it. Put it that way. Unlike a pay-per-view where it's a little bit different, maybe. But this is a show on free TV. Watch it. Okay, so second round, Court. I thought won the stand-up. I wasn't keeping a blow-for-blow tally or anything, but in the clinch, they were pretty much equal, neither really doing anything, and out front, Nick had some leg kicks, which for the record, Court really needs to learn how to block those. He's got a lot of building blocks. He's got some serviceable wrestling. He's got pretty good striking, actually. He's got pretty good ground game. He needs to step up the wrestling a little bit more, and he definitely needs to learn how to defend better against kicks, because he was having a hard time with them. But while I'm a big supporter of leg kicks do indeed score points, and you can, the bull crap of UFC judging, that they don't count sometimes is stupid. They're not worth the same as getting basically out-punched to the head by Court McGee, and that's basically what seemed to be happening. If there's a fight metric or something of it, perhaps that'll prove me wrong, but it appeared that Court McGee landed more strikes, and they were much more strikes to the head. So, third round. But no, the one judge scored it a draw, two judges scored it for Nick Ring. Not a huge robbery, but the first decision this season I don't really agree with, because I thought this should go to the third round, and, Chuck's pissed. Which, I don't blame him. I feel kind of bad for Court, because, he put up a serious effort, and I thought things were going his way, because it appeared Nick was pretty gassed out in round number 2, which is, kind of a black mark on Tito's training methods, I guess. The results somewhat back Casey, we'll put it that way. That being said, not the biggest robbery in UFC history, nor TUF history, but not even really a robbery per se, but I thought third round. And, Tito's like, well, I had two go against me. I'm like, probably thinking of McRae and Hammertree, but I gotta be honest, Bryan beat McRae pretty bad, pretty convincingly, not badly, because he didn't stop him, didn't really do a lot of damage, but convincingly. And if he's still going on about how Hammertree, you can't win a round based on going for a takedown for 3.5 minutes, and that's basically what Hammertree did in this fight. Anyways, but Court definitely spotting the wild card, unless the loser unless Joe Hendley loses and only one Liddell member can be in the wild card fight, and Joe Hendley looks really, really good in it. But Court, I think, strengthens the bid for Colin Oak to win this season, because Nick Ring was the main obstacle, and he did not look all that great when tested against someone decent, because honestly, I had not seen him against a decent fighter. His best fight was Bill Mahood. So that's all there is to that. Next up, and who would be and I'm giving the spot to probably Chris McRae from Team Ortiz, depending on what happens with Casey and the spot of Rich Antonito, if they do indeed give it to him. Otherwise, an argument could be made for Casey. But with Hammertree out, I would have to go with, if Casey is not eligible, it would have to be Court McGee versus Chris McRae. Anyways, that's pretty much it from this episode. Next time up, we have the final fight. We have the wild card announced. Looking forward to that. And, I don't know. I don't think there was really much else showed in the promo that leads me to believe. Nick has a lingering injury. So we'll learn about that, and hopefully that doesn't eliminate him from the competition, because we already lost probably Rich, and we've lost Chris Camozzi, who was a guy I was really excited to see fight. So that is how it goes, and I will see you probably sometime in the next 2 days with the next UFC picks. Shogun versus Machida. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. That is all.